All right, what we have here is a e-bike motor direct from mainland China. It is a mid motor from Bafang. This is a famous BBs02. And we're going to take a look at the contents of the package. All right, and this, I will admit, I dug through this a little bit just to see if I need any extra parts for today, but we're going to go for it. So, of course, there's the manual. Probably no good. Comes with a tool. This might be handy for putting the, removing the bottom bracket parts. It has, these are some stability parts, it looks like. We got some bolts to hold on the crank, or the gears, and then some stability things, and I believe there's a torque sensor in there too. Here is a crank. Here is another crank. I'll lay these out. So I'll take one out and look at it. They are square, meaning they're tapered. And as far as I can tell, there is not a left and a right. Oh, wait. Yes, there is, because they would be threaded differently. So this one is the right. Okay. We have an extension cable which will hook the battery to the motor. It looks like the motor must have these types of barrel connectors, so that will be handy. There will be soldering involved. Okay, I sure hope this is wrong. It says it's a 36 volt 250 watt. I ordered a 48 volt 750 watt, so we shall see if we got the right thing. I'm going to take this part out. And in classic Chinese packaging, it's all just stuffed in there, but you do get some white gloves, so that's pretty awesome. By the way, I cannot see what's in the field of view for the camera, so I hope this is working out. Here we have a light that can go on the front of your bike, and then you can go e-biking at night, which I'm sure is certified safe by the Chinese authorities. Put that down below, we won't need that for a while. We have here some cables. I believe these would probably be the brake cables or else the connector to the motor. Or there, oh no, this is a velocity or a wheel sensor that you put on the back wheel with this guy here. And then, I don't know what the heck that is. That is not the wheel sensor. There are instructions online that are useful. We'll keep all this in the bag for now. Okay, we have the sprocket. I believe that's a 48 tooth, and then this is the sprocket cover. We'll probably use those unless we can use my old crankset or my old sprocket in some way. Mine was certainly better than this piece of shit, but you know, it is what it is. This is what you get for $400. These are brake levers, and you need to have brake levers with sensors in them so that when you hit the brake, you cut out the engine. And I'm glad that was part of the whole kit. So I'm, you know, just replace the brake levers I have, which will be fine. I'm not in love with them either. They're cheap. Let's see. Here we have what I believe this is the torque sensor. No. I think this might be the thumb throttle, making it illegal in many states. Unless it's a class 3, which I think you have to have motorcycle license for or something like that. There's rules around these that I will promptly ignore. We have the other brake lever, again, with the cable. And some kind of a ratcheting thing here where it kind of stays on. And I don't know how that works, but we will find out. Oh, they were kind enough to ship me a bottom bracket removal tool. I had already bought one of these, so now I have two. Very useful for taking the cranks off of the bottom bracket for the spindle, as they are pressed on, usually pretty tight. There is a proper way to use these. I found out the hard way. When you screw this into the pedal, or the bracket, you back this out, then when you screw this, you get it nice and snug. You have to hold the black part with one wrench and turn the silver part with another. If you just turn the silver part like I was, it will just kind of tighten in, and you will not get, it'll take a lot of force to get them off. I think it could have been a lot easier had I not acted like an idiot. Okay, another one of those. Getting to the good stuff now. This, I believe, is going to be the display/computer controller that kind of makes the whole thing go. I'm not going to take all the stuff out of the box. There's some rubber grommets for mounting, some white styrofoam parts. There's another one of these grippers for the handlebars. But most importantly, there is a computer that comes with it that does the controls and tells the motor how much chooch to go and how much to leave behind. So put that down below, because we'll be needing it for a while. Some more bolts, which I'm sure will be obvious where they go when the time comes. And this is the meat of the system. This is the Bafang motor. This little honey slips inside your bottom bracket here, and I believe it goes like this actually. And the motor kind of sits underneath the belly of the bike. So I don't have the bottom bracket removed yet. We'll be doing that next. But it would kind of slide in there and then ride up here. And I'm going to assume that this shift cable, the one that goes to the rear derailleur, will not be a problem. So this will go down below on the sawhorse. And I think that's it. We're at the bottom of the box. And there's nothing else in there. So hopefully that's all the parts we'll need to do this conversion today. And let's take a look at the donor bike. I call it the donor bike because it is likely going to be a wreck when we're done with this. It's pretty old. It's an 83 Cannondale. I've always thought it was a good frame. But I have another bike that's just, basically better. So I'm going to convert this one and see how she goes. The tires are fairly new. The handlebar up here has been replaced. It has, I put a straight bar on it. It has friction shifters, which suck, but you cannot get click-in shifters, or you couldn't at the time a few years ago, 10, 15 years ago, because it has a 6-way or 6-sprocket freewheel on it. But other than that, it's actually a pretty good bike. It's just old, it's just 1983 technology, so we're going to find out how this goes. All right, we are taking a look at the bottom bracket now. We're going to do this in segments because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I've never done this before. But the first step, this actually came nice. I was expecting that to be a problem. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this is the bottom bracket retaining ring. And inside there, and this is where I might have to cut the camera off to get a better look. Oh, hang on. Okay, the sun's pretty bright today. And it would appear there is a ring of some type inside there that must need a special tool to remove, which of course I don't have, or that is built into the threads. We're going to walk around and see if the other side comes off as easy as this one did. I don't think it will. All right, this side needs to come off clockwise. So I'm going to pretend I'm tightening it and use my expensive spanner tool and see if we can get her to come. And did she come? No, I think I just slipped is all, which isn't good. You do this too many times and you get it buggered up and you can never do it again. Oh, there she goes. All right. I was worried about that. I've been losing sleep, wondering if I'd be able to get these off. Okay, rookie mistake, not wearing gloves yet. Well, just gonna have greasy hands. I'll get the gloves when I need them. So this is not the right spanner tool for this, but it worked. So hopefully no damage. I don't see any. Okay, there's that ring. And again, there's some kind of a notch there. This is still held in. So we're gonna have to figure out how it comes out the rest of the way. Might have to get my 1970s book out on bike repair. Okay, we're back, and I have cleaned up the bottom bracket here a little bit so I can get a better look at what it is. and it looks like it unscrews using a special tool that fits into those splines inside. There's a name for that tool. It is, I looked it up, it's called the tool that I don't have. So I think it's going to be off to the bike shop to see if I can find a tool for this. And rather than bung it up, I tried using a smaller spanner on it and a screwdriver with a hammer, and I quickly abandoned that because I'm pretty sure it's aluminum and it ain't gonna be good for it. It's gonna end poorly if I do that. So we're gonna see if we can find the right spline tool for that. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. And it looks the same on the other side, only it's black anodized for some reason. So with that, it's off to the bike shop. Okay, after a trip to the bike shop and waiting outside because of all the COVID, I finally came home with a tool that was no better than the tool that I already had, which was a pretty small spanner wrench. But here on the crank side, I was able to fit that in, and it looks like it's coming out. So maybe if this one's out, maybe the other side will come out easier. It was actually pretty hard. I gave some tries on this and was not able to make it work. But it is coming out. This one is anyway. So that is called the tensioner, I think. I also did a little bit of work. I'm cleaning out, getting all the crap out of there. I use a little brake cleaner, a little air compressed air, stuff like that. So that one went out clockwise. This one is supposed to go out counterclockwise. And of course you gotta get it right. So you get into the slots, and she don't want to come. She didn't want to even fit in the slots very well. That's part of the problem. There we go. So we're going to try and hold her in and put a little pressure. Oh, look at that, she went. Maybe the gods are with us on this one. Oftentimes these are put together with Loctite. So that could have something to do with this. I don't want to bugger up those. Well, I guess I don't really care because this is coming out for good, but I don't want to bugger it up so much that I can't get it out. Party wants to put a little oil in there. Be back in a second. Put a little PB blaster on this baby. Let's give her another go. I don't know if that's going to help any or not, but can't hurt. And the guy, when I showed the picture to the guy at the bike shop, he had never seen such a thing as this. I think it's just because it's a relatively old setup. So the tools for it aren't readily available anymore. And they did not have the proper. They had a tool that they used on older bikes, but he couldn't sell it to me. It was their only one, and they kind of need it. Damn it. So I bought this one, which looks like it's, you know, a decent tool, but it doesn't have enough of a bite to get into those nooks to grab the actual teeth and then not round out. So we got a classic steel on aluminum problem here. Twofold problem. One is the steel is harder than the aluminum, so it tends to bugger it up. Okay, I got a little movement now. Okay, got about a half a turn there. That's pretty good. Hadn't got that before. So this is going to come if I don't screw it up too bad. But I have to be very ginger with it. I don't mean that like Prince Harry ginger. I mean that like being very delicate. Because these little splines in here will tend to get buggered up if they're allowed to. God damn it. They always make it look so easy when they have the right tool, which is almost never for me. All right, I'm going to turn this off and work on this a little bit. Okay, I'm getting there. I got a few turns on it. I think I've maybe got a little bit better at setting it up, but it's actually not very friendly here. But as you can see now, it's at the point now where it doesn't even require too much work to get it to come. I'm almost there. And since this won't be going back in, I guess I don't really care about how it comes out. Okay. Now, they did warn that when you pull this out, you might see some ball bearings come with it if it's got loose. Oh no, this has, oh wow, it's pretty cool. This is a Suntour with pressed on sealed bearings. Very interesting. I was expecting a cup and cone. This is actually more what you would call, well, I'm not sure what you call it, but it's a kind of a sealed bearing version. Well, what do you know? I owned a better bike than I thought. Okay. Well, next step is to clean out the internal bore of this case here. See, there's goop in there, probably, oh, I don't know, anti-seize compound maybe. There's another cup. It's the retaining ring. Or who knows what the heck is in there. For this, why don't we go to the junk pile, get a few of these. Try not to get everything full of molybdenum disulfide. Because if it is molly, then it's going to be a terrible, terrible outcome. Because that stuff gets on your clothes, it gets on your furniture, track it in the house. Not something you really want to be getting on your stuff. Okay. Okay, I'm getting the goop out of there. I'm going to hit it with a little brake cleaner now. Well, first let's use a little, I had sprayed a little of this on to see if it would help loosen things up. I think it did. This is PB Blaster. It's really more of a penetrating oil, but it can be used as a solvent as well. Just for cleaning anyway. Okay, let's go to a fresh serviette, as the French Canadians might say. Yeah, still some goop in there to come out. And those threads. I wonder if that's some red Loctite they used. Sure looks like that, or it's rust. I don't think it's rust. Well, it might be, I suppose. Water would definitely have an opportunity to get in there. But this bike was stored inside and not really ridden in all that much bad weather. Although it's certainly not what I would call a clean bike. I did not baby it. Okay. All right, this time now it might be time to actually go watch a video on how to install the motor. Because now we're going to get up to the next tricky bit pretty soon here. And that is putting the motor onto the frame, although I don't think that's that hard. I think it's actually pretty easy. And the wiring isn't bad. It's just mostly just plug and play. Alright, this is my first time disassembling a bottom bracket, so I'm learning as I go here. So I bought a rack for the back, which will go over here, and the battery will sit on top of the rack. I built a battery as a prototype, and with the battery back there, the bike will be weighted such that it'll have, I mean, that's one of the reasons I didn't put a motor in the back too. You can buy the rear wheel motors, but those have some drawbacks because all your weight is in the back. Plus, plus the dropouts back here were too narrow for the motors they sell today. So I didn't, that just wouldn't have worked with this frame at all. Anyway, so next step is, I think, see if that baby fits. Might as well do that with the camera on. And if there's anyone concerned, this is definitely a 48 volt, 750 watt motor that I ordered. It is not the wrong motor. Okay, the word Bafang goes like this. I'm sure they're, which puts the motor, well, the cranking side of the motor anyway, on there. It looks like it will fit. I just gotta kind of get over there and work it in. Nice. Maybe I spoke too soon here. So what we're trying to do here is make this go through the hole. She don't want to go without buggering up the threads too. Oops, I think I got something on the lens there. I don't think it goes in. No, it definitely does not go in on this side. But just for shits and giggles, let's see what happens. Okay. All right, so I have to do a little research, figure out what it is hitting in that tube. It looks like the tube gets slightly smaller there. There's a little ring, a little metal that might have to be ground down. Huh. Okay, for those of you wondering, this is the end of the video. I put her back together because there was no way that that 32 millimeter shaft was going to go into that 31.9 millimeter housing, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping it's just because of the age of the bike, and my newer bike is the backup plan is to try and electrify the newer bike and see how that goes. But the good news is, even though I've never planned on putting the stuff back together, it seems to have gone back together pretty well. The lower crank bearings, or the bottom bracket bearings, seem to be in pretty good shape. I was able to reattach a chain to itself, which I didn't know I knew how to do. So I lubed it up, pumped up the tires, and I'm going to take it out for a test drive. Should be fine. And then maybe we'll take a crack at the other one. Bye for now. Okay, we're going to try and see what this other bike looks like on the inside. I don't know how far we're going to go with it, but we're going to start off and at least take the cranks off and get the bottom bracket out and see what she looks like. This is a Fuji road bike that I bought in about maybe 2004, 2005, something like that. So it's definitely got some miles on it. Not as many as it probably should, being that old. I don't know, I've ridden it. Okay, we're back. And I don't know if any of this is going to show up on film, but we're going to start off by just doing a little pedaling. We turn the system on with this button here. And it's booting. I just got pants on, I don't even have shorts on. Oh yeah, there's going to need to be some adjustments here. And the display looks nice. It shows, oh my God. I just started pedaling and it just took off on me. Oh my God. Shifting isn't working right. That's the brake. What's wrong with my shifting? Oh, I tie wrapped around it. Okay, well, we'll go fix that. I tie wrapped up all the wires, but on the down tube,